But as we are ending August, let's look at some lovely vacation locations. Sarah Kane is going to present the iconic Pullman posters. So, Sarah, over to you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Yes, we are continuing our travel series with the classic limited edition Pullman Art Deco posters. The last decade or so has seen enormous growth in the vintage poster market. Remember, actually, in Art Talk 56 back in June of 2021, we introduced you to Toulouse-Lautrec, who was famous for his posters of the can-can. And at this time, posters also proved effective and enticing for advertising. During the Art Deco years of the 1920s and 30s, travel posters graced station platforms and billboards to persuade affluent and adventurous travelers to enjoy newly modern luxury travel. These posters were often made by French and railway companies. And the vast majority of these posters were destroyed, but Pullman Editions, the Pullman Gallery, the largest dealers of these vintage gems. So in the early 20th century, Nice was at the center of all that was decadent and fashionable about the Côte d'Azur. Brits flocked there to enjoy the balmy weather and bountiful social activities, while the rest of Europe shivered through the autumn and winter. England's lasting legacy to Nice is the Promenade des Anglais, which is a 5-kilometer path built along the edge of the Baie des Anges, and soon became the place to see and be seen. The couple in this poster are shown overlooking the promenade from the balcony of the Hotel Negresco. Now popularized the Provençal farmer's healthy suntan in the 1920s. Parasols went down, hemlines went up, and the sun worshipping was born. Sun-drenched beaches and warm Mediterranean waters form the backdrop for this fabled playground for the rich, famous, and glamorous. The Côte d'Azur seems to epitomize happiness in these posters. Imperial Airways was a commercial British airline in the 20s and 30s and played an important role in the upsurge in air transport after the World War. Traders and affluent travelers to voyage far and across the British Empire, which was then at its zenith. The spectacular beauty and exotic wildlife of southern and eastern Africa was the source of much European intrigue and adventure, with travelers dreaming of a like the Olympic Days. Sunset's purple hue silhouettes Africa's natural exotica with a leopard glaring into the observer's eye. British muscle Italian style is the name of this one. The legendary Aston Martin DB4 GT Zagato debuted at the 1960 London Motor Show. Of the many models in Aston Martin's 100-year history and of the DB series of the 6-cylinder cars, the DB is beautiful and is highly valued today. The original collaboration between Aston Martin and Zagato of Milan resulted in a run of only 19 examples constructed between 1961 and 63. So it's rarer than Ferrari's 250 GTO. The DB4 Zagato is highly coveted by serious collectors. Sydney has an enviable reputation as one of the world's most beautiful and livable cities. Brimming with history, nature, and culture, it's bordered by miles of ocean coastline and sandy surf beaches. So in this Art Deco rendering of its most populous city in Australia, Charles Avalon has depicted 3 stylized yachts in the Sydney harbor, set against a background of 2 of the most iconic and architecturally significant structures on the planet, the Sydney Opera House and the Sydney Harbor Bridge. Sailing, or yachting as it was known, is a popular sport in Sydney for professionals and enthusiasts alike, with a keen sense of adventure being the only prerequisite. Now on to Italy. Rome is one of the most revered destinations in the world due to its archaeological and artistic treasures, as well as for the charm's unique traditions and ancient legacy. So Charles Avalon's poster portrays the Pont St. Angelo, which spans the width of the Tiber, Italy's 3rd longest river, illuminated by the early evening light, and with the late Renaissance architecture of St. Peter's Basilica standing in. despair in World War II. So the city retains the beauty that has attracted people for centuries. Now on to the poster on the left. Stylish people everywhere agree that there's no better way to enjoy the scenery of the Ligurian coast than in an open-top classic Maserati, defined by its rugged cliffs, turquoise coves, and seaside towns. The Italian Riviera comprises the crescent-shaped strip of Mediterranean coastline between the south of France and Tuscany. It's one of the country's smallest but most intriguing regions, and it's arguably the prettiest, most flower-filled stretch of Italian coast. And it incorporates colorful fishing villages as well as the timeless elegance of resort towns such as Portofino and Santa Margherita. The towering Swiss-Italian border is Zermatt, and it provides the ideal backdrop for a striking image of a pair of ski jumpers pictured mid-air. The classic mountain peak has long exercised a fascination for climbers, and its name owes its origin to the Matten, or the meadows. The Matterhorn, the saying has it, stands for Switzerland as the Eiffel Tower stands for France. And the success of the destination of Zermatt is forever associated with glamour and adventure. So here we have the 1958 and 1962 Monaco Grand Prix posters. In 58, the 100-lap Monaco Grand Prix was won to the delight of the Monaco crowd by popular French pilot Maurice Trintignant in a Cooper climax, just ahead of Ferrari's Luigi Musso and Peter Collins in second and third place. And nothing brings in the big captive crowds to Monaco so consistently as the annual race, held on the streets of Monaco since 1920. 1962, McLaren took first place with Phil Hill's Shark-Nosed Ferrari as in third. In the background is the Hotel Miramar, which is no longer there. And finally, we had to end with this idyllic poster in Beaulieu-sur-Mer in Monaco. And pictured here is a Riva Aquarama pulling into Beaulieu's yacht harbor. Praised as the Ferrari of the boat world because of its speed, beauty, and craftsmanship, the Aquarama is the most famous of Carlo Riva's designs. First built in 1962, over time, the Aquarama has become more than just a boat. It's celebrated as a nautical legend in its own right. And its evocative name is derived in part from the widescreen Cinerama movie format popular in the early 1960s, which is echoed by the boat's wide windshield. That brings us to the end of our art talk. I hope you enjoyed our travel series, ending with the Pullman posters. And I have to say, my favorite of the ones today has to be the boat on the Tiber River in Rome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. All those posters are so incredible. And let's have a quick poll. Donish, can you pull up that one PowerPoint slide, please? Okay, so audience, I want you guys to take a quick poll and choose which one is your favorite. I'll give you guys a few minutes. Donish, can you pull that up when you have a sec? Perfect. Okay, looks like we're almost halfway there. Okay, few more seconds. Put in your last pick. Okay, let's end that. Let's see what the results are. So it looks like Monaco and Rome were the most highly rated. And the least was probably Zermatt in Africa and London. Interesting. My favorite is Nice, but that's probably because I'm a little biased because I just love the south of France. Now, why don't we share what the BD team's favorite slides were? Donish, can you pull up that slide? Okay, so starting from the left, you can see Frank chose Monaco. He's probably into race car driving. Peter chose Africa because there's so many strong animals out there. Am I right? Darren chose London. I bet he's into cars. Tom is skiing in Zermatt. Heather is in Rome. She loves culture. Chuck is sailing away in Sydney. Patty is walking the streets of Nice, and I'm right there with her. And then lastly, Greg is on a ship in the Bayou sur Mer. Really nice.